It's getting recorded.
Yes,
And
sir.
also live telecast. You can give some opening remarks, sir, because it
Yes,
should
sir.
not be empty right from the beginning.
Yes, sir. I'm sure when we are talking, I think probably this is not a new topic to everybody. And every one of us are using the digital technologies. And still we thought to have a webinar to learn how the digital technologies are helping us in improving the library services. You all know that things have changed a lot with the digital technologies, and therefore we thought it will take an occasion to hear three eminent speakers and most popular librarians and professor of library science from their side, so that the newer things we will be able to learn new things from them. I thought that is the best way to have a webinar on the occasion of Librarians Day. Right.
లక్ష్మణ్ రావు సార్, మీ ఇంట్లోకే అనుకుంటా శబ్దాలు వస్తున్నవి, చెప్పండి కొద్దిగా వాళ్ళకి.
లేదు సార్, మా ఇంట్లో వచ్చి
Six chats are there. I'll be reading. ఎవరెవరు చెప్తున్నారు అందరు. ప్రభాకర్ శంకర్ గారు, గుడ్ మార్నింగ్.
గాంధీ గారు
సార్,
మన వీసీ గారు జాయిన్ అయ్యారు. ఓయూ వీసీ అని ఉంటుంది, హోస్ట్ చేయండి.
ఓకే. అన్మ్యూట్ చేయండి సార్, పైకి వచ్చేస్తారు. అన్మ్యూట్ చేస్తే పైకి వస్తారు.
కోర్స్ చేసిండ్రా సార్ విసి గారిని?
చేస్తున్నాను. ఎస్, ఐ మేడ్ ఇట్.
సార్ గుడ్ ఆఫ్టర్నూన్ ఫ్రెండ్స్. Good afternoon, friends. I welcome all the participants. I welcome Professor Ravinder, Vice Chancellor of Osmania University, who is the chief guest of this evening. And I also welcome three eminent speakers: Professor Udayan Bhattacharya, Professor of Library Science at Jadavpur University; Dr. Akhtar Parvez, University Librarian Manu; and Dr. Sanjay Kataria, who is also a librarian from Bennett University. And I also welcome our office bearers, Professor Sudarshan Rao, Chegoni Ravi Kumar, and other professional librarians. As a matter of fact, we celebrate generally the Librarians Day, which is a birthday of Dr. Ranganathan. Dr. Ranganathan brought revolutionary changes in the field of library science, both in terms of subject, as well as he is the person who brought the status to the librarians in the country. Otherwise, earlier they were ignored. And with his knowledge, his theories, his systems is being recognized all over the world, and still they are being practiced in spite of the fact that the technology came. Still, his theories stand good. And therefore, on the occasion of his birthday, people say 9th, some places say 12th, we celebrate Librarians Day as a respect to Dr. Ranganathan. And this time it is 130th birthday of Dr. Ranganathan this year. And we thought generally what is happening on 9th and 12th, there are many number of programs are there. So therefore, it is generally the practice is any time during the month of August, his birthday is being celebrated. That's what generally happens. And this time, the Telangana Library Association, which was formed in the year 2014, after the Telangana formation, on the 9th of August 2014, we had our inaugural function. And from that day onwards, till today, we have organized lots of programs, and on average, at least 7 to 8 programs in a month. I think by totally in last 7 years, I think we have conducted not less than 60 to 70 programs. And these programs are basically to enlighten, educate the professional librarians. And one of the most useful programs that we conducted is when the government of Telangana was recruiting the librarians for Gurukuls, the Warangal branch conducted 11-day free training program for the candidates who are appearing for the Gurukul schools and colleges. And generally, everybody, librarians, whenever there is a program, they organize with they charge a registration fee of 3,000, 5,000, and people attend. But generally, what we organize is it is 200, 300, inclusive of lunch, tea, everything. Sometimes we have organized even per a day just 100 rupees, which is not sufficient even for the lunch. And our basic idea is how best we will be able to educate, enlighten, and also make them more resourceful, so that they will be able to contribute for the management of the libraries. That is how we are able to run the program for last 7 years. Or you can say this is the 8th year. 8th year we are completing 8 years. So that is the basic thing. And this time we thought we should organize some program, webinar, which is mostly every library is trying to use the digital technologies, but these digital technologies are creating a lot of impact on library services and library management also. To say today, the digital technology have brought revolutionary changes. Let me say that before that. And I will just give you a brief about this digital, about this seminar. And I'm sure all of us are aware of the digital technologies. And still, let me take an opportunity to just give the small brief. Digital technologies, basically we use it as a computer technology or information technology, but basically the digital technology is zeros and ones. We all know we have gone from electronic signals to digital signals. Electronic signals were different, and digital signals are zeros and ones. And if you look into the definition, it says electronic tools, systems, devices, and resources that generate, store, and process the data. That is what happens. And then once today, the digital technologies have brought revolutionary changes in human life, not only in human life, but also in the industry, society, and everywhere. And if you like to say, the digital technologies have transformed our lives and industry too. The automation is one of the key changes wherein things are moving at a faster rate with less human involvement. We are able to see that in a industry also, as well as in the institutions also. And further, the digital technology have contributed in increased efficiency and output. We may find social media, communication process, easy sharing of knowledge, etc. These are the result of the digital technologies. Education is not an exception in the using the digital technologies, as the digital technologies have created impact and contributed to the enhanced quality of education and research. The services which were never thought possible are being made possible with these technologies. And the libraries are not in isolation, because libraries are part of the education system, or outside, even also public libraries also, they help in educating the people. The digital technologies had brought a total change in their functioning. One of the best examples is the automation of library functions, where earlier they were struggling to have the basic functions of cataloging, classification, etc. Earlier we were talking, if you be every time we remember Ranganathan saying 2,000 books per year for cataloging, but today you can catalog 80 to 100 books per day, which you can imagine how many of the increase of the productivity. And especially we are in a position to do that efficiently without mistakes. And then digital technologies also created a new wave of services in libraries. As I said, new way of libraries of services, the remote access is one of the service, right? And sharing of the documents with ease, and linking the scientists, linking the libraries, linking the institutions without any problem, and then communicating with the fellow scientists and fellow teachers. And the most important is shifting from paper to digital documents made the libraries change their way of working and managing the library, right? And today, we all know that we are just talking about the e-resource, e-document, e-journal, everything. And these e-resources or e-documents gave a new meaning to its objectives, library's objectives of selection, acquisition, processing, and the provision of the access to the knowledge. Remote access and easy sharing of knowledge resources are the best advantages. They have made accessible to not only subscribed, but also open access resources and also free resources. Earlier, we never had a concept of open access resource. Only digital technologies has created this type of a concept, and also documents which are freely accessible. Today, somebody was asking me about some textbooks. I gave them about 10 websites from where the textbooks are there. And today you also know open access. When you say open access, free access, if you just look into the pdfdrive.com, which gives you 80 lakhs of documents at free of cost. Similarly, we all know Hathi Trust Digital Library. We all know Internet Archives, where millions of documents are there. And these documents are available at free of cost. But only thing is, librarians have to really educate, because the teachers and the people, they may not be knowing, because they are busy in their own work. So librarians have to take the responsibility of finding them and sharing them and creating an awareness about this type of resources to the teachers, researchers, and people who are interested. So OA and free resources available all over the world, and which we can access without any problem. And this type of access, earlier I am sure we all remember, people who are going to America, they were really struggling to find which university is the best, where to find this application, how do we apply. Today everything goes on online. Online is nothing but the result of digital technologies. And now at the same time, I am sure you all are aware that it is estimated that every 12 hours, the literature is getting doubled. Every 12 hours. Earlier, we were talking about weeks, before that 15 days. And today, it is estimated that every 12 hours, the literature is getting doubled up. So in this context, it is not easy for anybody to identify the documents which are there. So that is where comes the search technology or search engines, which are in a position to help us in identifying the documents which are relevant to us. And lastly, let me say that it is the responsibility of the library staff, who have to take the better responsibility in the context of the changed environment. And their work is also changed phenomenally. And the changes are definitely, they create impact on library services. And today we have with us Professor D. Ravinder, the Vice Chancellor of Osman University, as chief guest. I welcome you, sir. And also we have Professor Udayan Bhattacharya, Professor of Jadavpur University. I welcome Professor Udayan Bhattacharya ji. We also have another speaker, Dr. Akhtar Parvez, University Librarian of Manu. I welcome you, Dr. Akhtar. And we have another speaker, Dr. Sanjay Kataria, University Librarian of Bennett University. And I welcome also other friends like Professor Sudarshan Rao, Dr. Chegori Ravi Kumar, and others, other fellow professionals. With this introduction, now I request Dr. Chegoni Ravi Kumar to say a few words about the Telangana Library Association. Thank you very much. Ravi Kumar, you can unmute and then you can do it.
Yeah. Very good evening to one and all. Hearty welcome to today's webinar on impact of digital technology on library services. And once again, welcome to the chief guest of this webinar, Sri Professor Ravinder Ji, Vice Chancellor of Osman University. And as the resource persons of today's webinar, Professor Udayan Bhattacharya Ji, Department of Library and Information Science, Jadavpur University. And another resource person, Dr. Akhtar Parvez Ji, Librarian, Manu. And another resource person, Dr. Sanjay Kataria Ji, Librarian. And it is great, immense pleasure to few words about our library association. Telangana Library Association was inaugurated on 9th August 2014 by the Professor Kodandaram, political JSC chairman at the City Central Library, Hyderabad. Many eminent personalities like Professor K. Nageshwar Rao and Professor G. Aragopal and many eminent allies professionals were attended at the inaugural time. The Telangana Library Association organized more than 62 various programs such as seminars, conferences, symposiums in the field of library and information science. And we organized national seminars, national conferences, symposiums, workshops, and the latest development in the field of library and information science. And Telangana Library Association met the more than 50 public representatives like ministers, central ministers, state ministers, MLAs, MPs, and government officials like commissioners, joint directors, directors, to seek their support for the development of library and information science profession and the development of public libraries in Telangana. And even COVID pandemic time, that period also we organized more than 24 webinars in the field of library and information science. And the year of 2018, we are helping to village libraries donated around 5,000 rupees books to the 3 independently running by that means we can say in the private libraries in the rural areas. And TSLA in the month of June 2020 we donated 1 lakh rupee worth of books to the village libraries by the Central Minister G. Kishan Reddy Garu. And the Telangana Library Association is working for the enlightenment of LIS profession and development of all types of libraries, public libraries, academic libraries, special libraries in Telangana. Thank you, sir. Thank you for giving the opportunity. Sir, you're muted, sir. You're unmute yourself, sir.
Now we have with us Professor D. Ravinder, Vice Chancellor of Osmania University, and Professor Ravinder joined recently last year as Vice Chancellor, and we are happy to know that there are a lot of changes that are taking place. He is a Professor of Political Science, Osmania University. Earlier, he worked as he was the principal of the Osmania University famous arts college, and after taking over he brought radical changes. We are able to observe, everybody is able to observe. He looks smiling, but he is tough, and he is ready. He is trying to change lots of things, and we are happy because he is trying to bring the glory, because earlier, if everybody remembers, like top people like P.V. Narasimha Rao was the student of this university. Shiva Shankar was a student of this. Shivaraj Patil was student of this university. There were plenty of number of people who contributed, who studied here, and now Professor Ravinder is trying to bring the glory. I'm not saying glory has gone, but he is trying to make the university much better and one of the top universities in the country. And I'm sure he will be able to do, and everybody is able to see the way he works. As I said, smile, but we generally use in the management, rules are tough, but practice is soft. So that principle he is following, I think. And I'm thankful to Professor Ravinder for accepting our invitation to be the chief guest of this afternoon. Sir, thank you very much. Sure. I request you to speak, deliver your chief guest address of the chief guest. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, good afternoon to all of you. Respected Lakshman Rao Garu, President of Telangana Library Association, and Dr. Ravi Kumar, Secretary, Telangana Library Association, and the former Principal of Arts College, Professor Lakshman Rao Garu. Let me thank the Telangana Library Association. Sir, is it audible?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So on the occasion of Ranganathan Garu on Jayanti occasion, let me congratulate all the librarians for celebrating this Librarians Day on the name of Dr. Ranganathan, who contributed a lot. Just now I came to know through Professor Lakshman Rao Garu. So Lakshman Rao Garu, like my teacher, when I was a student, he was a very popular teacher in Arts College. Later, we worked as a director for the academic audits, HRDC, they popularly known as HRDC. Now this is the Academic Staff College. And so as soon as I took over the Vice Chancellor, I think he's motivating like anything, and he's supporting, and he's giving a lot of advice to me. And for this, I think I thank Professor Lakshman Rao Garu for inviting me to speak on impact of digital technologies on library science. I think I'm not competent to speak on this, but whereas on the virtue of Vice Chancellor, I think I would like to say a few words on this occasion. But the scholars like Professor Udayan Bhattacharya ji from Jadavpur University, Dr. Akhtar Pervez from Mano, Dr. Sanjay Kataria from Bennett University, Noida. I think that experts, before that experts, I think it's very difficult to speak. But anyhow, I think I try to make some 2 or 3 issues to bring into this webinar. I think all of us experienced and passed through the history that in the olden days we carry the card system, when we entered the library, you have to show the ID card, and whenever you borrow the books, you show the ID card and the library card and borrow the books. And as rightly said, Mr. Lakshman Rao garu, it's a phenomenal change in the technology, particularly in the digital technology in the library science also. It's almost changed the whole system. And similarly, when the library is also benefited a lot. And now I think everyone aware that I think because of the digital, because of this technology, which you are able to meet, you are able to discuss on the various issues. I think this itself is a living example, particularly while the physical mode to a online mode kind of a seminars and webinars, which we conducted a number of seminars during the COVID period, and most of our teachers also accustomed to teach on only on chalkpiece and board, but they also trained and use the technology and dissemination of knowledge through this online mode. I think now the resources and the every information is available on in the phone through, thanks to Google Tally. I think you can search everything and you can find everything. No need to go into the physical form of the books, and particularly when the Kindle also tab also providing thousands of books in one Kindle. Need not to place not place in the house. And similarly, I think I now recently some disturbance. Recently, they in Osman University also organized some refresher course on digital resources, and where I think I had the opportunity to interact with some of the librarians in all over the country. But their experience is also similarly. I think now it's the time to pose one question. I think most of the librarians also seriously look into it, that is it really required libraries now in the physical space in the digital era. And most of the space is also very serious constraint. And instead of that, most of the books and most of these things also digitalized, and it's available on the websites. So particularly once upon a time, during the national movement also, there was a movement called the libraries movement. Grandhalaya Dinotsaval, sorry, Grandhalaya Udyama. The library movement which took place to spread the news or spread the dissemination of knowledge. Now that libraries' relevance is, I think, slowly coming down because of the phones and the computers and Kindle and so on and so forth. And recently, I had the opportunity to interact with the in USA, the alumni of Osman University invited me to visit and address in the different cities, where I found in Colorado State one library that known as in the Denver city. That library managed by the public library. I think it's very, very important to think, even our librarians also, to move from the conservative traditional kind of a library to a modern skill-oriented kind of a library. I think once I entered into that library, I found that the almost all occasional courses and instruments and technology which is available in that library. Not only books, even books as a small part, and digital resources are available. And at the same time, the filter, turner, kind of other all those things also trained in that public library. So once a candidate entered into that library not only books, I think he or she, whatever they are interested, and they can also learn the things, including sewing machine, whatnot. Almost all 100 trades which trained in that library. And similarly, another important aspect which I found that instead of once you read that book, no need to preserve that book in your house. So that books are also donated to that library. And whoever want to read that book, they can borrow that book, and once they study it, and again they give it back to the library. That's a very wonderful system, and the very interesting kind of a practice which I found in the Colorado state of Denver. I think in the present context, I think we need to focus on the existing libraries. Since it's digitalized, it's available in the cloud. So that space may be utilized for the other skill-oriented, skill enhancement kind of a things. I think it's a loud thinking, but you are the right persons to say and comment on that. So yesterday, I happened to attend one important meeting with Honorable Minister K.T. Ramarao Garu on IT and industries. While he delivering that lecture, releasing the open city study material for the competitive exams. So he said that, and he I think very interesting comparison that instead of publishing the books, if we would like to publish 1 lakh books, I think we have to cut number of trees, and it also environmental effect. Instead of that, I think that books digitalized book, the book is also available in the cloud. That cloud is also access to the students and whoever they want. So really, I think it involved number of environmental issues and so on, so forth, many other issues. So that's why I think we should also seriously think about at least 1 or 2 copies, earlier hundreds of copies which we printed at the cost of forest cutting and the wood convert into a paper. So I think this is also very serious concern in the context of the digital era, that now cloud is available and everything one can put it. Another important which we have been discussing in the Vice Chancellor's meeting, where we propose, I think, for example, in Usman City, which we subscribed EPW in almost all 10 to 15 centers in all the colleges and all the college libraries also, economic and political weekly. So instead of that, I think now that digital copy is available on the website, and we can share open access through paid subscription. So we requested the Telangana State Council of Higher Education to subscribe for that such kind of a journal, which would be useful for all the universities of Telangana. So similarly, I think the sharing the resources, so instead of subscribing the physical book in multiple centers. So one subscription through access entire the state is also one kind of a method which we are trying to adopt, and even the very popular journals also which are trying to take it up. And Professor Lakshman Rao Garu rightly said that almost 80 lakhs of the books and millions of documents is also available. But now I think no need to go into the print number of copies, but still, and in the era of digital era, but still, I think we have been reading number of articles online, on computer, and even other sources, but we are not getting the feeling of the physical reading of a book while traveling, while sitting, while in the college and wherever we are. I think while reading the book in the hands on the table, that nothing but it's I think we having the food kind of a feeling. But whereas reading the material on the computer and the phone, I think which is not getting the satisfactory reading. So in light of that, I think these are the pros and cons of the digitalization, and at the same time the access, and at the same time space. So many things which involved in it. I think on this occasion I congratulate the organizers, particularly it's synchronized with the baby of Telangana, which was formed in 2014. Then similarly, the Telangana Library Association also formed on the same year. Really doing a wonderful work. I think I hope and I thank for each and everyone for sparing and inviting me for this afternoon. and participate in the library day. Thank you very much, Lakshman sir, and the other dignitaries, and Ravi Kumar and Sudarshan Rao sir, and others also. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Sir, I just wanted to say a few words. Thank you very much. You raised a lot of issues, and they are very important for the librarians. But I just wanted to share a couple of things. For example, when we go to movie, we appreciate this cinema hero and heroine, and but behind the cinema hero heroine, there are so many people like music director, director, producer, etc. Similarly, if you want to manage a library, it may be digital library or whatever library, we need the people, and they are the librarians who have to do. Only their role has changed, but minus them, you will not be able to select the books, you will not be able to procure them, you will not be able to organize. So, and second thing is, everybody, generally I have seen recently when I was with Kishan Reddy Garu, he was saying, you know, why we need libraries when we have a Google. Google gives you lakhs of documents, which doesn't give you full document. They have a copyright problem. Publishers restrictions are there, and whereas the librarian will be able to help in identifying the competitively the best resource. And at the same time, digital technologies now today it's not easy as we are looking for the publishers restrictions, and they are putting a lot of restrictions, especially in the US. They are finding very difficult. Today, now there is a new move has come from government of India. One nation, one subscription. For the one nation for one subscription. This is where they are trying to subscribe one journal for a limited number of institutions. Maybe that will help in getting the access to the lot of journals. But otherwise, minus libraries, I think it will be very difficult for any system, including education, because they have somebody has to manage. Even an organization which needs to, which may be automated, but needs to be there. And at the same time, we have a problem. I mean, we are the Osmania University going to see a major problem with the department. I am sure Professor Ravinder Garu will be able to take care of the Department of Library Science and also library. And unfortunately, what is happening today, number of university librarian posts are vacant in all over the country, including central universities. Minus librarian, there is no leadership. When there is no leadership, the newer services, newer documents are not being provided as access to the users. These are my simple thing. But thank you very much, Professor Ravinder Garu. You have raised lots of issues which will help us to improve, which will be able to help us to think once again, what can be done, what should be done in our libraries. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Now, I request Professor Udayan Bhattacharya, Professor of Jadavpur Library and Information Science, Osmania Jadavpur University. As usual, he has a lot of experience, published number of articles associated with a number of institutions, and at the same time, he was also head of the department, and he is most popular professor in the country. Thank you very much, Udayan Bhattacharya ji, for accepting our invitation to be there. And I request you to please speak.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you. I am extremely thankful to Telangana Library Association for this invitation, and particularly the Professor Lakshman Rao. He is the father figure of India of Library Information Science. Respected Professor D. Ravinder, Vice Chancellor, Osmania University, and also two co-speakers, Dr. Parvez Akhtar Parvez and Dr. Sanjay Kataria, and Dr. Ravi Kumar, the Secretary of Telangana Library Association. So I am going to cover, as restricted, Professor Lakshman Rao suggested we should complete by 20 minutes, maximum up to 25 minutes. So I am trying to restrict myself within that time limit. So I am going to cover a very small aspect of digital technology, the application of digital technologies in libraries. That is the spreading of fake news, misinformation, disinformation, and definitely it was there. It is there. It will be there. But with the advent of digital technologies, it expedites the speed of generating fake news, misinformation. This is tremendous. So, being a professional librarian, how do we combat that? How do we aware people to combat all this nonsense? Actually, it is becoming a menace to the whole society. So, being a professional information librarian, information professional, we should contribute to make aware our fellow citizens about this menace. So, with these few introductory words, I am going to start my PowerPoint presentation. Okay. Let me share my screen, please. Is it visible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Visible, sir.
Okay. 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 So, the topic of my discussion is fact versus fiction, fake news, and the post-truth era. The lecture is divided in basically 3 parts. One part is I will explain the title of the particular topic. Then I will give some example of spreading of fake news, misinformation, disinformation, and finally I will conclude with how do I, that is a library professional, combat this particular menace of this society. Just starting from the first slide, it is a, you might be knowing that the Pinocchio or Pinocchio, whatever you call it, is a Italian fictional character. It used to lie. As it lies, or he lies, or she lies, its nose become elongated. So the suggestion is don't tell lie. Okay. So post-truth era, and this particular term was selected by Oxford English Dictionary as word of the year 2016. And what is the meaning of post-truth? Basically, it is an adjective as relating to the denoting circumstances in which objective facts are less influential in shaping public opinion than the appeal to the emotional appeals. Actually, sometimes we are our emotions or empathic functions are supersede our logical functions. We are guided by our empathy, our emotional factor, rather than the logical counterparts. Okay, it happens, sometimes happens, but nowadays it is seen that our emotional functions, our personal beliefs supersedes our logical function, and that's why it is creating a peculiar situation. It's a strange situation. You can call it a post-truth. Yeah, the term was first coined by the American playwright Steve Tiss. Actually, he is lamented like that, as we, as a free people, have freely decided that we want to live in some post-truth world. Some post-truth world. And what is that? It refers to the social phenomena wherein people are more apt to believe that they want to or what they feel should be correct based on personal belief rather than the concrete evidence and fact, even when contradictory facts are present. I have already mentioned. Suppose we can exemplify the time of Galileo. Galileo, the clergyman, the churchman used to say that the sun revolves around the sun, and Galileo Galilei challenged it. Okay, like that. Fact is available, mathematics are available, logic are available, but people of a country, people of a particular land have their own personal belief, and that's why they are in a what can I say, it is a suspended animation like type. If this phenomena predominates over a society, we can call it a post-truth era and post-truth society rather. Okay. I am quoting, you might be knowing the name of Harari. Yuval Noah Harari is Israeli social scientist. He has so many books. I will show some, the next slide, the books written by Harari, and there are so many books. But here's some assumption about the post-truth era. Actually, he also lamented, like Steve Tiss, that human being is basically lived in a age of post-truth. Homo sapien is post-truth species. the same. Actually, we are used to spread fiction. We are creating bubbles, colorful bubbles to amalgamate so many human beings having the same opinion. And suppose we are taking the clubs, Barcelona, England, India, Pakistan, Hinduism, Islam, Judaism. These are some fragmentation of the society. It may be political, it may be religious, but this type of fragmentation is created by human being, that is the Homo sapien, to unite some people of the society in a particular group to do a particular objective or particular purpose. So we the Homo sapien, the human being, are creating fictions, creating bubbles to unite some part of the society to do some purpose, to fulfill our purpose. Just likewise, the Nazis during the Second World War and created some fictional issues or creating bubbles to jeopardize a particular nation like the Jews. Okay, so this is happening nowadays. Also, these are happening. We are creating fictions. We are creating bubbles to unite some people in a particular objectives. Okay, so these are some books written by Harari. These are very popular books right now. I have also personally some books of this Dr. Harari. Right now he's a very popular writer of this world. Okay. Marshall McLuhan is said that World War III is a guerrilla information war where division between the civilian and the military is not will be there. Everybody can create a war. Why they can able to create the war? Because of some spreading of information. The information may be detrimental, information may be good information, but everybody have the access to spread information, have the technologies to information. That is why this particular issue I am discussing is important, because the extreme proliferation of the digital technologies. Okay. And you might be knowing that everybody knows the name of Goebbels, that's a Goebbelsian. Goebbels, the Nazi propaganda maestro and perhaps the most accomplished media wizard of modern age. What he says? He said that a lie told once remains a lie, but a lie told 1,000 times becomes a truth. It is a good paradoxical situation. Basically, we can say that almost all the political parties and the religious gurus, sometimes religious gurus, are obeying religiously these features, but they are the extreme criticizer of the Joseph Goebbels. But following the same principle, a lie told once remains a lie, but a lie told 1,000 times becomes a truth. There are so many quotes by Joseph Goebbels. I am not going to repeat, tell all the, but so there are only 2 letters difference between fact and fake. Only 2 letters difference. You just twist it, the fact will become fake. And digital technology has have a important role of spreading fake news or misinformation within the society. Okay. There are some definitions. I'm not going to read all this, just reading 2 or 3 lines from this. A term fake news means a news article that are intentionally and verifiably false, designed to manipulate people's perception of real facts, events, and statements. It is about information present as news that is known by its promoter to be false based on facts that are demonstratively incorrect, or statement or event that are verifiably did not happen. So it is on purpose. Fake news is spreading by some miscreants, I must say the miscreants, with some malafide intention to destabilize the society, to disturb the homeostasis of a particular society, to do some criminal offense, etc., etc. I will give you examples of how fake news, misinformation can destabilize our society. Okay. Donald Barclay. All fake news is not new. is with us, and even from the predates era. But what is new to is, that is this key point is very important, the extremely low cost of creating and widely distributing digital information, wide availability tools for creating fake information, including software for manipulating text, image, and sounds, a sheer amount of information, including fake news, that the average person must negotiate in the digital era. Yes, we are negotiating with huge amount of information, as Professor Rao is already mentioned. Every 12 hours, it's a doubling time now, become the 12 hours only 12 hours. Within 12 hours, the total amount of information we gained from the predate set is just doubled. So just imagine the speed of spreading of knowledge. Even the spreading of fake news information is also gained a huge speed within. So these are the basic phenomena. It is we can say that is due to the advent of digital technology. And one term is very important, the phrase, the weaponization of information. You can use the misinformation as a weapon to create riot, to destabilize the society. And that is the most, I think, derogative area of spreading information. And that's why we, the professional librarian, information professional, should be very, very careful to prevent this type of information. How do we prevent that? To make our customers, to make our members of the society, our fellow citizens. That is, I think, a noble role we can play, the library and information professional right now. And these are some, what can I say, the types of fake news or information, the fabricated content, manipulated content, imposter content, and so many are there. There are many more, but I have listed only few, the types of fake news or misinformation, whatever you call it. In the historical timeline, I have already mentioned it is not within us. I have collected so many, but as time is limited, I will mention only few of them. Okay. So, as far as my knowledge is concerned, it is 63 BC. Roman Emperor Augustus Octavian did a campaign of disinformation to support his victory over the Mark Antony. You might be knowing the name of Mark Antony Cleopatra, the Egyptian queen of during the War of Roman Republic. And I'm not reading all. 1782, yes, this is the Benjamin Franklin, that I think the Nobel scientist, a very famous scientist, Benjamin. He also did some miscreant activities, mischievous activities, some rumors, and to punish the invite hostility towards the Native Americans by spreading some rumors. So these are the mischievous job did by the Benjamin Franklin. 1835, the Hughes, it is 1835, mind it, 1835, years back, that circulation of the Guardian was 8,000 to 19,000 within few years. They spread one particular event, that is the moon hoax, known as moon hoax, that peculiar creatures are living in the moon. I will show the picture of God published in Guardian. And finally, they confess that it was a commercial strategy. Just mind it, it was a commercial strategy to publish increase the TRP of Guardian, and it was happened in 1835. And few more examples I am going to give you. I'm not mentioning all this. Yes, it is 1933 and 1945. Nazi propagandist Joseph Goebbels, one of the Hitler's closest associate and powerful force in German news media, found newspaper called CGA the propaganda message. Goebbels used lies and disinformation to influence the public into support of Nazi's horrific regime. I have already mentioned some skills activities of the Joseph Goebbels, and there are so many, so I'm not going to read or mention all the this type of activities. Okay, and this is the moon hoax. published in Guardian in 1835. So it has spread like a storm. And I have already mentioned that at 1835, the publishing capacity was almost 19,000. In 1835, it is the published number of copies is 19,000. So it spread all over the world as this peculiar creature is living in moon particularly. Okay. And this is also a picture which is rather false information, fake information. But I am going to quote one line from Vicky Goldberg. The photography was invented. It was thought that it was a equivalent to truth. It was truth with a capital T, but it was quickly learned, seeing it not believing. When it is the early history of photography, hoax like Cottonwood fairies taught people the question the validity of image they saw. This particular picture is played by two young ladies in the year 1917, 1917, and it is known as Cottonwood fairies. This cousin sister, their age was 9 and 17 only. They pasted some image of fairy in a cardboard and photographed in space that they are living with some fairies. It was spread like anything during kingdom in 1917. Then finally they committed that yes, it was a fake photograph, photographed by them. In 1937, two young lady means rather girl of 9 and 17 years of age, they spread this peculiar photograph all over the United Kingdom. So, and who are the generator of fake news? There are so many. I'm going to mention only few of them. One is jokers. You might be knowing the name of, yes, it was so infamous during the coronavirus, during the pandemic age. K.L. Sundar Krishna, nuclear and art scientist, believed that coronavirus has broken out after a muted particle interaction of the first neutron due to fission energy emitted after the solar eclipse. Okay, another pearl. It is pearl from the Justice Mohima. The peacock is a lifelong brahmachari. It never has sex with peahen. The peahen gets pregnant after years of the peacock. Who said this? That is the Justice Mahesh Chandra Bhatt. So the information or data coming from a person who is belonging to a very higher social Islam like Sundar Rajan or Mahesh Chandra Sharma, it has a huge impact in the society, a huge impact, because they are the person belonging to a higher echelon of the society. So spreading of this misinformation, disinformation, and fake news, they are spreading the baseless misinformation in the society without knowing the exact fact. So it has these are a huge impact in the society. So we must be careful of this particular phenomenon. So it is not important who said this. To me, what is important, what he says, that is important. I have mentioned two, three examples. There are so many, millions rather, people belonging to higher echelon of the society stated this type of unfortunate messages in the society. But so it is not important to me, it is not important who said this, but what he says, that is most important. And some what can I say, this type of people who I can call it them as the mischievous activities. Suppose just few days back I got one email from my vice chancellor that I am in a very bad situation, please send some money. I instantly call to sir, what happened sir? Well, yes, my mail account is hacked, just leave it, I am fine. So sometimes this is happening to all of us. We are trapped by some message, trapped by some forged email. So there are some people who is purposefully doing that. And politicians definitely spreading some misinformation, fake news within the society. I am giving two examples right now. That is the President Donald Trump questioned whether exposing patient bodies to UV light or injecting bleach could help treat coronavirus. He was speculating and took facts out of the context. And another part from a politician of West Bengal, The feature of the Indian cow is that its milk contains gold. That's the reason the color of a milk is yellowish. So there are millions that fake misinformation created by the politicians. Okay. And the conspiracy theory, some of the example I am giving you, during the corona period, anti-vaccination campaign was spread in United Kingdom. In our country also, a false story of Marky origins claimed that the first volunteer to take part in UK vaccination trial had died, circulated in a big anti-vaccination and conspiracy theory. In our country, there are so many. I am giving one example from Tamil Nadu, that is that the opposite group campaigns that there are a scarcity of hospital beds in the Chennai city, but it was stated by the Health Ministry of Tamil Nadu. It's absolutely false. There are sufficient number of beds are there. So sometimes conspirator spreading the information to defend some somebody or some government, and sometimes to what can I say, to nullify the whole situation, like the anti-vaccination campaign. Okay. And sometimes insiders also spreading the fake news, and that comes from a doctor, a professor, hospital worker. We may call them the insider. And definitely sometimes our relatives also spreading information without knowing what is happened actually. They got some information from their friends or other members of the society and spreading without any intention, but finally they are spreading some information on fake news. Okay. And that is the MIA, an actor, Houdini Harrelson. They are very famous. They are very, very famous in United Kingdom. They spread a peculiar rumor, the relation between the 5G spectrum and the coronavirus. That they mentioned that the 5G spectrum, the introduction of 5G spectrum, that is 4G, 3G, you might be knowing, the spreading of coronavirus is expedited the whole process. So that was heard by the thousands of populations of the MIA and the Harrelson. And this particular news item was spread that President Kovind earned 3.25 million followers on Twitter within minutes of taking over a Indian 14th president. It was absolutely false information, fake news spread by some miscreants. Okay. And this particular news story was viral just 1 year or 1.5 years back about Ratan Tata. Finally, it was proved that this news item is absolutely fake. And this is this picture is from a Bhojpuri movie circulated as some BSP leader stripped of a Dalit woman. So these are the miscreant activities spread by some miscreants. And this is about I am not going to mention all the points because time is limited. And this picture is from Pakistan, but it was spread as a violence in West Bengal. It was spread with the speed of a storm. And this particular picture is from Pakistan and spread by the Imran Khan's party, Tehreek-e-Insaf, about the Delhi riots, and say it mentioned that it's anti-Muslim genocide. And this is the final. I think, as I have mentioned, we are living in a post-truth society. Why I am mentioning this is peculiar situation, and I am going to mention this particular incident or phenomena of Valais. Valais is a city of not Macedonia, rather it was a very industrial city. But after demonetization and etc. global phenomena, they were facing a deindustrialization in their country, but they started a new business, new industry as a fake news. And I'm not going to read all the points, but I am just going to mention few of them. Mayor of Valais described the monetization of fake news sites as success story of their city. And the spreader of this fake news are giving tax to the country. So just see, one city, one country is selling fake news, and that is acknowledged by a particular city, by a mayor, and they are fetching revenues out of this selling fake news. So we must say that we are living in a exposed to society and what is happening. It is a real fact. You can check it. I have checked times again. Is it true? Actually, it was unthinkable to be, but it is my conviction. Yes, it is absolutely true. The selling of fake news, marketing of fake news is a strategy of a particular nation, and the country is fetching money out of this business. Okay, so to what White said, to appreciate the people now live in a complex information environment, there is no point to suggesting that the people should try to avoid particular forms of information. It is better to equip people with the ability to evaluate wide range of information. Yes, that is the information that I am going to mention in the end of 5 years. And these particular points are mentioned by, like, in the IFLA, that how do I counter this spreading of misinformation, etc. Consider the source, read the beyond, check the who is the author, what are the supporting sources, check the particular date of spreading of data. Is it a joke? Check your bias. Are you biased? And ask the experts. Who are the experts? Expert maybe the library and information professional and some other expert who can suggest you what is going to be, what is the fake and what is fact. Rather. And these 6 points are mentioned by Association of College and Research Library United States. You might be knowing that it is the largest subset of American Library Association, having members of more than 10,000. They have mentioned that these are the 6 points we should consider to combat misinformation and information literacy campaign. You might be knowing that information literacy is a set of integrated avenues by which we can understand how information is produced and valued, and the use of information in creating new knowledge and participating ethically in community learning. So we should know what is the value of information, how do we use it, and we should take this message within the society. And media literacy is one of the very important areas right now. It is the ability to think critically about the information you consume and create. It includes the ability to distinguish fact and opinion and to understand how media can sometimes be used to persuade people. Media literacy is important because it is basis of being an informed and critical thinking world where technology and media are ubiquitous, helping to immunize people against the undue persuasion and false information. So actually we are getting thousands, millions of items every day. So we should equip ourselves to some checkpoints, what is fact and what is fake. And sometimes emotional intelligence are coming to us, and this we should not be trapped by this emotional feeling. Sometimes newspaper are selling their views. Nowadays we can call it not the newspaper, the views paper. If you read a particular item in 4 newspaper, 5 newspaper, 10 newspaper, you will get different views. So nowadays that is a views paper. We should be very careful about the views paper. Okay, and necessarily our democracy depends on our opinion, our in voting booth, our marketplace, and our personal life. So you will note that some people are moving within the society with malevolent intention in the guise of a lamb. The wolf is moving within the society. So we, the library and information science couples, we should aware ourselves about the happenings and make our fellow citizens about this menace of the society. Likewise, we can improve the quality of society. And finally, thank you to all of us for your patient hearing. And I am again thanking Professor Rao and the Telangana Association for giving me the opportunity to share my views. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Udan Bhattacharya. Nice of you, and you have raised lots of issues, both historically and present, on fact and fiction. And today we are able to see social media where lots of fictitious and false information is being shared, and many times we believe it, And especially you can see regarding the phone calls, regarding the payments, everything, it's all false information. And every day you get a message from the bank saying that you must be careful while giving the message. Don't give the OTP, don't give the PAN card number, etc. And this is the biggest disease. I don't know, disease or problem for the people in the country and the world. And we have to be very cautious. Digital technologies has given a different opportunity for the people to misuse the technologies, and also create a lot of problems for the people. And that is why today we are talking about security. And today we find also in police department also cyber security division. And the cyber security, digital technologies are good to use, but at the same time there are negative parts are there. Thank you for raising all the issues, and thank you very much. Now I request all the participants that we will have questions at the end of the three speakers, please. Now I request Dr. Akhtar Parvez, who has more than 20 years of library experience. He worked in various organizations. Now he is heading the Manu Library. Manu Library has a specialty. The reason is very simple. It is a Urdu university. He changed the catalog from English transliteration to Urdu, and he made a lot of changes because it's a Urdu university and Urdu books are there. And I think now he deserves a big applause for his changes that he has made. And he is a good friend of all of us, and he is also a member of the Telangana Library Association. I welcome Dr. Akhtar Parvez. I request you to please speak. You may unmute Dr. Akhtar. अख्तर साहब आपका आवाज नहीं आ रहा है.
अनम्यूट नहीं किया साहब आपने.
Yeah, I think
now it says unmute, sir.
Yeah, there was some problem. So you are able to see my screen?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So good afternoon, everyone, and I'm very happy that today we have Professor D. Ravinder, the Honorable Vice Chancellor of Osmania University, and this is my second, meeting with him, but this time it is virtual. I'm very thankful to Professor Lakshman Rao, who has given me this opportunity, and he's a towering figure in library science, who always inspires us to do better. And we have learned a lot of things from him. I would also like to thank Dr. Ravi, and good afternoon to Professor Sudarshan Rao and all my fellow speakers, Professor Udayan Bhattacharya and my friend Dr. Sanjay Bhattacharya. So, can you please mute yourself? I think somebody's mic is on.
I'll check, sir.
Yeah. So, when I was listening to Professor Bhattacharya, who gave a wonderful presentation, so I immediately inserted this slide in my presentation. So this is also a truth, Professor Bhattacharya, that unfortunately, we are party to all this misinformation. We believe what is fed to us. Also, this is another, slide which actually tells you the story. Okay. So with these two slides, let me just go to my presentation, which is impact of technology on library services. So I will be talking, broadly on the impact of technology on library services. So technology, as you all know, is older than us, right? And somebody has very rightly said, a fabulous exoskeleton that turn men into supermen. So what does it mean? It means that, technology has enabled us to do everything that we always desired. Technology is good and or bad. I mean, just before this presentation, the topic of fake information was being discussed by Professor Bhattacharya. So obviously, it has a lot of problem. It has distraction. Still, despite the fact that we are 75 years old country, there is a not equitable access to information on or scholarly content. The same is true for technology. And information can be hacked, as Professor Lakshman Rao was suggesting. Unfortunately, cheating has become easier when you use technology. And the other thing is that, now we make a targeted search. Because we make targeted search for searching an article, so what happens that, we get what we search for. And in the older days, when we wanted some information, we used to read a lot of, literature. We used to read books, and in the process, we were able to, know a lot of things which were perhaps more interesting and relevant for our research. So that is another problem which we see with technology. Also, open access technology has brought predatory publishing. I mean, fake news, videos, etc. That has been discussed in detail by Professor Bhattacharya. So irrespective of these facts, technology is not slowing down. It is in fact speeding up at a very, very fast pace. And if you talk of Generation Z, I mean, they can't really imagine the world without technology, even for a second. So, can we effectively serve users without applying technology in libraries? The answer is big no. So it is less of a choice and more of responsibility. When we see libraries, there were a lot of changes. We always, saw, we, are a very sophisticated libraries these days. What we see a lot of, changes in our libraries. There are spaces have been changed. And what Professor Ravinder was saying, that he was saying, or he was doubtful about the relevance of libraries. So this threat has been there in every field, whether it is medical field or any other field. But the important thing is, that we have to transform ourselves. We have to transform our libraries. Only then possibly we can have an impact on our library user. And then we saw the emergence of internet in the early 90s, and I am very fortunate to have witnessed that era. Also, internet, changed. Earlier it was not as colorful as it is today. So whether it was the era prior to internet or post-internet, service has always been a central point in our libraries. And all, even the 5 laws of libraries science, they also give a lot of importance to the So as somebody very rightly said, that bad libraries build collections, good libraries build services, great libraries build communities. But we cannot build communities, unless our users are happy. How our users will be happy? Our users will be happy if, we are able to give them best of the services. And for having, or providing excellent services to our users, processes are are essential, and effective processes can be built by using technology. So technology, provides us a smooth road where, we can really help our users, we can serve our users in the best possible manner. Now, today, if we see, there are various types of documents, Professor Ravinder was also suggesting we have books, we have e-journals, we have e-books and audio videos, and so on. But unfortunately or fortunately, whatever you can say, user is very impatient. So they do not want to search. They simply want to find, and that too, they want to find the right information at the right time. So today's scenario is like this, the user is in the middle and he is surrounded by a lot of information, which, starts from library catalog to open access resources to publishers catalog, publishers resources, databases, and so on and so forth. But then, I today, because of the technology, as a user, I'm able to, search all these resources simultaneously. And this was possible because of the integration that we have in our libraries now. And that integration, basically, if I say, I am actually hinting at the discovery services, federated searches, and such similar services. So basically, we can today make search from a single search box. And here also the relevance ranking becomes very, very important, which has been enabled by technology. Now, if, say, for example, this relevance ranking was not there, perhaps user was not able to get the right information. So this relevance ranking, what happens that the algorithm is such of our discovery service, or even I would say even Google, that the publisher index becomes very, very important, and then your searches are matched with article titles, keywords, abstracts, full text, then what is the how current the document is, what is the type of document, what is the size of document, and so on. Now, coming to the standardization part, which again, technology has provided us, we are very easily able to, share our MARC records with agencies like InfluibNet or National Digital Library of India. And because we are able to share our records with them so easily, it becomes easier for them and easier for our users to see what different libraries have, irrespective of the geographical place where they are. So basically, the technology has made geography as history. So then another thing, which technology has provided us is that we are able to digitize. So we are able to digitize things which we were not really able to see earlier. We were either going to National Museum or, such places, but then, a large amount of data has been digitized. But having said that, let me also say that a large amount of data is still remains to be digitized. So I think what we have done, for our users, that we had a lot of Nizam's period documents in our library. So we have digitized all those documents, and when we have put it on the internet. So now, we have actually tried to empower our users. So technology also, does not distinguish between people. So technology has enabled us to serve our users who are especially abled people. There are speech to text, text to speech converter. There are large monitors that we have, and there are a lot of other assistive technologies for especially abled people, which actually to whom we are able to serve. So here I would suggest that I would say that the Ranganathan's one of the Ranganathan's laws, which says every user his or her book. So here we are able to achieve that, and we are able to achieve that for our users because of application of technology in our libraries. Also, what we see today is that we are able to provide information or library related data to people on their desktop, to our users. And since we are able to give them information on their desktop, they are able to save a lot of time, because the access is not restricted to time or geographical areas. whether they are at home, whether they are here, the technology enabled them to access information from any corner of the world. And this technology has also enabled users to search or access or retrieve information 24/7 into 365 days. And that is one reason why the researcher are able to focus on their core research areas. Now, you must have seen the recent index of the number of articles published and the number of citations. So India has actually gone up to the ladder, and this is a good news for all the academicians. So what happens that technology is also helped us to achieve the goal of saving the time of the reader. So
अख्तर साहब वॉइस नहीं है.
Must be some signals problem at this our end.
I think I have come back. I have come back. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. It's now audible, sir.
Thank you. There was some power issue. This is the problem with. So, what I was trying to say is that the user is the most empowered people today, and king or king queen. So it is because that we are able to serve users so well. So impact of technology in libraries.
Echo is coming, sir. Echo is coming.
Maybe because I see a problem at
mute and unmute, sir.
All
Try
right.
Mute and unmute. Proceed, sir. Now you can proceed, sir.
All right. So you are able to hear me clearly, right? So,
yes, it's now clear. It's now clear, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. So what I was saying is that I'm sorry for all this the inconvenience caused to our audience.
No, we can't help, sir. It's so Zoom. Sometimes it happens.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. So what I said, technology has significant impact on our library users, and also that technology and libraries are twins. We cannot separate these two things, and it is because of the technology that we are able to provide some of the best services to our library. So I feel the words I would take Lakshman.
Lakshman Rao sir, audio disconnect అయింది సార్ది. అక్కడ సిగ్నల్ సరిగ్గా లేనట్టుంది, ఆడియో మొత్తమే పోయింది.
మేడం చూద్దాం, ఒక 2 నిమిషాలు నడవండి సార్.
అదే చూడండి, మేము పార్టిసిపెంట్ లిస్ట్ లో అది ఆడియో ఎగిరిపోయింది. ఇప్పుడు మళ్ళీ వచ్చారు.
కంటిన్యూ ప్లీజ్. Sir, there is some problem with your audio, please. I think it is breaking. The voice is breaking.
Here there is no problem, but I've already finished my presentation.
No, it's okay, sir. Now you can continue, sir.
You can continue. Now it is good. No.
So, what I was trying to say is that it is because of the technology that we use, that we are able to serve our users in the best possible manner. Also, what I was trying to say is that we must use the technology to its fullest potential, which sometimes I see that despite that there are technologies available with us, sometimes we really do not use the technology the way we should use it. So with these words, I would like to thank Professor Lakshman, Dr. Ravi for giving me this opportunity. Thank you very much, and thank all the audience for having a patient listening. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Akhtar Parvez ji. It's nice, but unfortunately, technology problems are there that you and I can't help. Otherwise, thank you for a very good. Thank you for your nice presentation. Now, I also welcome Gona Reddy Garu and also Kanta Rao Garu from Warangal and Suman Singh from Allahabad and other friends also who joined later. Now, I request Dr. Sanjay Kataria from Bennett University, who worked in various, he developed the libraries of JP University. Then he also developed the Bennett University. Then he went to Bombay to look for a new institution of the management. Of course, he came back here. He uses lots of technology in his libraries. I welcome him to address the participants, please.
Good afternoon, everyone. Is it audible? Am I
Yes, please.
Yeah, thank you very much. So,
Yes, sir.
Honorable
Yes, sir.
Professor Ravinder, Vice Chancellor, Osmania University. Honorable Professor N. Lakshman Rao, the President, Telangana Library Association, Dr. Ravi, Secretary, Telangana Library Association, Senior Professional Colleague, Professor Udyan Bhattacharya, Professor DLS Jadavpur University, Dr. Akhtar Parvez, University Librarian, Manu Hyderabad, Dr. Sriram, Dr. Sudarshan Rao, and senior distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen. So, good afternoon, everyone. Since morning, we have learned a lot about the digital impact, starting from our from a pattern of this association, President Professor N. Lakshman Rao spoke many things about that how the digital technology impacted not only the library but whole sphere of the life. And again, that another talk delivered by Professor Bhattacharya talked about misinformation. Disinformation is this is because of this digital revolution and social media. We are getting a lot of fake information day to day. Then again, Professor Dr. Parvez Akhtar also spoke about various kind of tools and technologies which has impacted the academic libraries. So I was still, it was an understanding that there will be only 15 to 20-minute discussion, but I think so. This is a very due to time constraint. I'm not going to set the PPTs and all, but certainly I would like to talk much about the kind of impact on that academic libraries, the way how the digital technologies having a both way, the positive and negative kind of impact on that, scholarly and research activities over there. So it's my really pleasure to be part of this wonderful webinar on impact of digital technology. And is more important that this Telangana Library Association is celebrating that National Library Day on the occasion of 130th birth anniversary of Professor S. R. Ranganathan. This I must congratulate Telangana Library Association office bearer for taking this initiatives. So I request all the participants, please mute yourself. Yeah. So if you look up, way back on 19th century, that when how the internet is emerged and it was in a major revolution in that, scholarly world, academic and research activity, and the internet is impacted on whole sphere of life, including libraries. So we are witnessing that how digital technology is impacting that libraries, especially in academic libraries. So I will be focusing on some of the important point where the library digital technology really impacted the academic libraries. First and foremost is the space, the library space. If you look at that majority of libraries, there was a major challenge of the library space, because that every year we are adding a kind of resources, books and journal databases and archives and all. So there was there is a number of institutions, there is facing challenges to accommodate. So number of libraries, they face a lot of challenges to accommodate a lot of latest books and resources, other resources. But thanks to digital technology, and nowadays we are able to accommodate and we are able to procure and organize that million and billion books on cloud. So, and not only collecting, curating, and storing the million books on the cloud, but how this ebooks or the kind of digital technology is helping in empowering the user, especially to get access of these ebooks 24/7 at their doorstep. It was not really possible at that traditional library, conventional library. User used to spend the time, you have to travel to the library and find out the relevant book. And even though sometimes users are going to the library to find out the particular book, and there is an incident that book is already been issued by someone. Okay. And then again, there is this kind of embarrassment was there. But thanks to the technology, how this information networking libraries empower the user to know the status of book from their home itself by using the OPAC. And OPAC is not empowering the library user to know the availability of the status of the particular book, but also empowering users to hold the book, to renew the books, and then you can make a recommendation of procurement. So lot kind of change took place in this particular time. So certainly that this technology helped a lot. I request all the users, please mute yourself, please. Host can please look at that. Host requested, please look at that and mute the person who's interrupting. So this I was talking about library space. So how this library space has been saved by the digital, this revolution, digital technology, and given a kind of solution to the library. And library is now shifting from print to digital. Almost now the AICT even that they're asking that institution can host 60% of digital books. So we are in that way we are having a lot of we can redesign the library space nowadays, because change of teaching and learning pedagogy, and with the help of the technology, that drastic changes are taking place in the research and academic activity. So I'm talking about more concern about library space, though, so that keeping in view the changes, libraries can redesign the space. Space can be designed, and that the in form of the group discussion room, some kind of media room, or that they can have some kind of training rooms. And so nowadays talking about that e-learning things and online teaching and learning pedagogy. So library can have a different kind of, library is no more that kind of silence place. Library is kind of a happening place. Library is not more that kind of known for that silence, completely silence place. Now then happening space where that users come not only to refer the literature, but can have a group discussion, can have some more learning and peer learning. So therefore, it is important that library space should be redesigned, and the digital technology is helping us in a lot in that way. Now next is talking about collection development. That if you have a kind of, if you look up way back, that how that library used to procure the library resources, especially print books and journals. And this whole process, starting from recommendation and recommendation negotiation, inviting quotation, and procuring the books to a lot of time, and this is long and lengthy process. But how this technology, the digital resource is given a kind of solution. We are in position to now request in Rajuji, please mute yourself, please. So if you look at the online books, this is empowered us. We can use the library ebooks before buying under the kind of initiative like evidence-based acquisition system. So this kind of has this is major impact and major kind of benefit in another way. So librarian and library users can use the books before buying under the services like an evidence-based acquisition, where that library can publisher is providing kind of used collection to the library, and library user can use that collection, and based on that uses and kind of understanding, library is paying to them. This is a drastic changes in that in that accessing of the library resources in that way. So this is I'm talking about library collection. And if you look at that, the way we are able to save that labor and time and energy, then when we are processing the print books, we took a lot of time to access procuring, receiving from the vendors, going through for accessioning, cataloging, classification, labeling, pasting, and all. So this whole process is, now we are no more, involved in that kind of activity, and the libraries can access, pattern can access. See, today that books has been released and in a particular collection. So tomorrow itself we can get access of those books. This is a drastic changes and impacted of this digital technology. And next, talking about the library services, there are a number of services been initiated with the help of the digital technology. Talking about book borrowing facilities, we are extending to library services. Earlier, user used to come to the library and taking help of the library staff to borrow the books, and sometimes that staff is available or not available at the circulation desk. But now, change of this RFID, digital technology like an RFID or some kind of other mechanism, barcode system is there. Users are empowered to borrow the books their own. There is no human interaction more. So in that way, they are having this kind of impact. And what Dr. Parvez is talk about that, having at integrated, integrated resource system like in discovery tool on hybrided, this federated search engine. So library resource, what we are doing, there is no mean to go and different, the publisher website. Now we are in position to integrate the library resources on single window access, discovery tool, or the hybrided search engines. That is not only saving the time and energy of a user, but also empowering and helping libraries to have an optimal utilization of the library resources. This is really important nowadays. So in that way, this is good that we have experimented in our library. We are using single window access e-resources, including books and journals and databases, and not only a single window access, but also providing the remote access facility. So this is not very new thing. So that concern is that how this technology is helping us and empowering us to get access more and more resources in lesser time. So next is that earlier we used to talk about the reference services. Now, for getting a reference services, users supposed to visit the library and discuss with the library's team. But now with the help of the digital technology, the users are sitting at their home and they can use the services like chatbot and or that you have an online chat system. There is a provision and you can drop an email and they can get their queries. So this is a remarkable change. And in that way, students and the scholars are saving a lot of time and energy and getting benefit of the digital repository. Now this libraries, because this technology is taken over so many things and supporting, and that way has minimized that library manpower or a kind of activity. Therefore, library and library team is empowered and they are upskilling themselves and not only involve them to provide an access to the knowledge resources or the traditional services, but now they are more talking and working along with the scholar community and to helping them not only in academic assignment, but in a publishing research. So in our library, we are helping them and providing different kind of services, because the publishing trend has been changed, and again that publishing sectors are also impacted huge on that impact of because of the digital technology. So in that way, we are helping scholar community to tell them where to get how to extract the literature, and what are the research strategies, research techniques, and how to extract the literature, how to compile that references and citations with the help of that tool like a Mendeley. So in that way, we are not only providing access to the knowledge, but we are in part and partial and integral part of the library system and academic system now. So therefore, this is very high time for library professional to equip ourselves to support fraternity in a different way, so that library can make a justification with the use budget, use space. So in that way, we have to look at the different way, and we have to equip ourselves. I already spoke about that federated sensation, and now I'm talking about indexing and abstracting services. Earlier, library used to have a different kind of manual and kind of composing, compiling different kind of indexing and abstracting services. But there, as I told you, there is an impact of digital technology. We are empowered with the digital technology and provided them databases like Scopus and Web of Science. That is not only providing access to that sources of information up to the abstract level, but also helping a scholar or the librarian to have an analyze and having different kind of analytical services, and the user can look at that which are the best journal, which are the who is the prolific scholars, and who is the producing more research, where that India is India status is there. So many things can be done in that way. And needless to talk about that, we are having a high time for that, designing a institutional repository or the national level repository. Now we are talking about more that research data repository, and plenty of data information is available over there, and that there is a need of the librarian to understand this change and to adapt this change, and to create an awareness among the scholar community so that they can take it further. Now other speakers talk about the misinformation and disinformation. Now talking about the social media not only helping the librarian to connect the community, but also helping us to promote the library resources and services. So this is great time, high time. And how this technology is, empowered the libraries, and librarians change the landscape of the libraries. Librarian is no more the custodian of the prints and scholarly materials. Librarian is now is more about that instructor kind of, teachers or kind of, trainer. So in that way, we are getting a lot of benefits. And how that, if you look at that, this digital technology, how this digital technology has changed the perception and expectation of the end users. And the users are expecting so many things at their doorstep. Now, on a single click, they want any kind of information on their desk. Now we are talking about library subject guide. Subject guide is that nothing but kind of, integration and mapping of the library resources with the teaching and research curriculum, and the way the faculty, because faculty are busy in their, whole day from 9 to 5 p.m. the classes, they don't have much time to explore the resources. This is the high time, and librarian are the good in that way to design a subject gateway and subject guide, where that users can get all the required resources on single click. They really need required to explore the resources, to search the information for here and there. Now new technologies emerging, like an artificial intelligence. Many Western countries, they initiated the AI based search engine. They have also started the robotic services in their libraries. So there's a high time for us to learn and adapt all these kind of changes. And now talking about blockchain technology, the big data is in you, because there is a lot of huge data is available in a digital form, and managing this data is again a big task. So we have a high time, and like an internet archive with the providing huge, it is impossible to look at the kind of data, information, and the resources available over there. Now talking about e-learning mechanism, how librarian can play an important role with the help of this technology. Open educational resources was Professor Rao is also said about OER. So all these data research management, there are huge areas now. How I'm thankful to God and kind of thank to this digital technology. They've given a lot of solutions and a lot of support to libraries and librarian. And this is high time for us to equip ourselves to learn, adapt, and support. This is the my message to all the librarians through this platform. Thank you very much for giving an opportunity and share my views on all. And if permit for another 2 minutes, I can show you the kind of mobile app we have designed. And nowadays, concept is that users carry their library in their pocket rather than they're going here and there. They should have to have a connectivity. They can get a content. Is it possible to have a 2 minute more time, sir?
No problem, sir. You can proceed.
Thank you very much. Are you able to see my screen now?
Yes, sir. Yes.
So I'm just going to play this video app which we have designed, and this is purely my concept till design to implementation.
Yeah, please try to close as early as possible.
This is another 2 minutes, sir.
Voice is not audible, please.
ఇంకా చెక్ చేస్తున్నాడు సార్ ఇక మెయిన్ స్క్రీన్కి రాలేదు.
So okay, I'm going to do this is the basically this mobile app. It is integrated all resources together. There's a different tab. Your profile means user can look at the profile. Your account means reading history, and all this kind of website is over there. And even the overdue fine can be paid through the mobile app UPI. And this is new arrival services are there. Reading history can we look at the here how what kind of book has been issued or what kind of book has been read by those users. These are the book what we have issued, and now about the municipality we get more regulation about library services is there. User can look at that all rules and regulations, and here information regulations, contact informations, database is available on the library, and here that this is an integrated pack. Then you need this is not hyperlink. The people can look at the books available here and can use search books through this. And these are the books data is available in case they are using. Okay. And all that library resources are integrated databases and journals here. And this is video basically available on YouTube. This is the databases resources we are subscribed in the library and integrated with mobile app. And user can and through this mobile app itself can download it, all the articles. And this is available in that on YouTube, and people can spare some minute and can look at all features. So this is the Harvard review magazines explore. So idea is just to have a number of features within the library mobile app, and users in case having a connectivity, they can access all library resources and all the new arrivals, available information is available. Even we can conduct the user survey feedback. This contact information they can send in the feedback here. and rivals and other issues. So thank you very much. Idea is just to tell that how this digital technology is helping the libraries, not only yeah. So the technology empowered us so much, and we are able to facilitate and provide so much kind of value-added information to end users. And the feedback is really good. The students are very happy. So we librarians should keep ourselves and should adapt and use this technology to facilitate users in a better way. Thank you very much for your patience, listening, and trying.
Thank you, Dr. Sanjay Kataria, for your presentation. Especially, you gave a demonstration of some sort of demonstration of a mobile application. Now we will have a question answers. If anybody has a question, please unmute yourself and ask. I welcome Dr. Pavan Kumar Gupta, my dear good friend. Welcome, sir. I'm sorry I have not seen your name. Right. Thank you very much. Now, any question to anybody? Please, if you have any specific person you want to ask the question, you may name the resource person and ask the question, please.
Unmute and
please unmute and then ask the question. Please tell your name also. Sound, please. Sound is not coming from the person who is posing the question.
Sir, may I ask question to Professor Udayan Bhattacharya, Dr. Sriram from Sikkim University?
Sure, sir.
Sir, thank you, sir. And it was nice listening each speakers, and everyone is learning in their respective field. So my very simple question to Professor Bhattacharya about recent study says that the fake news travel 6 times faster, which has been done by human only rather than machine. So how to control that? Because earlier it was perception that the computer is computer technology especially is the responsible for distributing fake information. But now the recent study by MIT shows that the human is the source of information which is spread most number of fake news. So how do you perceive this notion?
Actually, I have mentioned in my deliberation that information literacy and media literacy is the weapon. Okay, so we are the library information professional. Actually, what we can do, we can make aware the people what is going to be. It is almost difficult to recheck all the information or data sources. It is impossible. Already, Dr. Professor Rao was mentioning in his initial remark that the 12 hours is a doubling time right now. So you just conceive the speed of information or data generation. So we should aware our customers and our fellow citizens about the media literacy, about the information literacy, so that they can judge them of their own. We can help them, but it is their duty also to aware about this type of miscreant activities, so that they can evaluate the source, they can judge what are fake, what are facts, and that is the responsibility of library and information science professional to aware them about the day-to-day happening. That much we can do. That is my realization about the spreading of the fake news or this information. What it is.
This is a general question I'm posing to all the speakers. We all know that the digital technologies are giving us a lot of facilities, and also able to create lots of services that we never thought. and we also forgot, for example, SDICAS has gone because of the remote access. And new services, earlier we were talking about bibliography. We don't need a bibliography service today. I mean, some of the services have gone out, even including a reference services, partly it has gone. And new services have come like discovery or remote access or databases and linking the resources with elsewhere, open access. All these new things have come up. Now, how far the library science schools are able to back up, pick up these technologies, and they are trying to update the students and products so that they will be able to take up these newer technologies and newer responsibilities. Anybody start with Prudhen Bhattacharya ji, because he is the professor, he must be able to tell me something more.
Actually, I had a talk with you about our new curriculum. We have incorporated some specific items in our syllabus. Suppose one of the component in our master degree syllabus is KDD and data mining, that stands for knowledge discovery and data mining. We also incorporated some special area of natural language processing and artificial intelligence, etc. Definitely, we are not the expert in this regard, but there are some applications in library information science. So you might be knowing that the data science, that is the big data analytics, data mining, are nowadays the features of so many libraries of USA and the rest of the world. Also Singapore and Far East, they are using the data mining, the library analytics technology. So we are incorporated all these features in our syllabus so that we can at least train our students about what is happening in the field of library information science. Likewise, for example, natural language processing. Actually, in our field, it is one of the going to be the major component within few years. Actually, I think it is my perception about the progression of the field within few years, the 5 to 10 years, there will be a sea change. Number two factor is, it is a very common terminology, it might be knowing that digital native for the upcoming generation. Sometimes they call them the X generation, millennium generation. And during the corona days, all the kids and students of the school and colleges, they are well equipped with using digital devices like smartphone, what I've mentioned, desktop, laptop, and other digital devices like Kindle, etc. Somebody is mentioning about the use of Kindle. Vice Chancellor also mentioning about the use of Kindle.
Sir, my question is very specific, sir.
Yes.
Are the libraries and schools able to cope up with the changes that are coming up in the digital technology?
Yes. That I am telling. To train the digital natives as the upcoming future student, we have to customize syllabus. We have already customized our syllabus to incorporate few elements to train them about the upcoming technologies. I think that should be the way by which we can cater our students to face the digital natives. That is the upcoming student generations. Okay, that is my perception.
Any perception by Akhtar Saab or Dr. Sanjay Kataria?
Yes, sir. I think what probably should be important is that the library schools, to some extent, they should involve practicing librarians also for some kind of, guest lecture or something, which purely talks about the application of technology in libraries. Number two, I think the library schools may consider having 1 month's compulsory, kind of training or internship in some good library for students. I think these are two of my suggestions, which I feel would help, to make them employable in the future.
I would like to suggest here that is so much to do, so much thing to do, and main and major is concerned about that in understanding of technology. And the majority of schools, that the faculty, they really need to update themselves with the latest technology, and they should have to regress and continuously, update themselves because updating curriculum is not a big deal until as the faculty concerned who's going to teach in the classroom, not only theoretical, but technology is more in the practice. So important is not that what we are teaching, important that how much that thing can be in practice and implementation. Because when we are going to recruit library professional, we found that they know the concept, they know the terminology, but where is that application, how they are going to apply, that is missing. Digital literacy is one of the major concern nowadays. I believe that a lot of tools are available for scholarly writings and publishing and teaching. So I believe that somehow we all together should learn and before talk, and that we should understand, we should practice, take necessary training, and then apply. Probably that will make any sense. Thank you very much.
You have said correctly, Dr. Kataria, about that. That is not only the syllabus, but faculty should update themselves. Otherwise, it cannot work out. That's correctly said, rightly said. Definitely.
Actually, there are two components, sir. One is curriculum. If you update the curriculum, then naturally the teachers have to update. There is no alternative.
Right.
And if just the teachers update, the curriculum will not be updated. Now, I have seen my own experience in 2001 when the NET syllabus was revised. I was one of the party out of 4, and 3 were opposing, but I insisted. Then ultimately they gave me a chance to coin the syllabus for unit 8 and 9, which is a technology. And what happened after 1 year, people, those who are appearing for NET, automatically they were forced to revise the syllabus and then learn the technology. So I think even now, the revision of the syllabus, many teachers are adamant because of these many reasons. I think if I don't know whether I'm right or wrong, but if NET syllabus is revised, probably it will have a lot of influence on departments to revise the syllabus also. And once the syllabus is revised, the teachers have to automatically update and then teach. So this is something interrelated, and therefore I don't know how the library professions are come into the picture. Unfortunately, library associations are not doing anything out of this. I think somewhere actually in 2001 or 2002, we have also initiated first time, I think, in the country, 2 months internship. They have to work in the library, and the librarian gives the grade A, B, C, D, but not the department. And now there are many universities which have started, but some of the universities, funnily, they say after first semester you do 1 week, and after second semester you do 1 week. It doesn't work at all. So I think probably the teachers of the departments and the senior librarians have to come together and come to a sort of a conclusion. What could be the best method of updating the future products so that they will be able to deal the technology, because technology is updating day after the day. Every day we find something or other new. So to cope up, for example, today we are talking about robots. Today we are talking about artificial intelligence in the libraries. Today we are talking about smart libraries, whatnot. You open the literature, you find a new technology application in the libraries. And today we are not in a position to even to teach or to train on Mendeley, EndNote, and nothing. So I think there is an urgent need of combining, joining the librarians and the university teachers, and come to a sort of conclusion. What could be the best method of promoting the library science education or quality education, so that they'll be able to, the products will be able to do something better than what they are able to do right now. I don't know. This is my submission. If anybody has a reaction, please, you are welcome, please.
Actually, for your information, sirs, actually, since 2009, in our university, we have internship program for both BLISC and MLISC students for the 6 months program, and it is a paid service. University is paying rupees 4,500 per student for 6 months. Each month, 4,500 they are getting. So it is a mandatory program for our university. Okay. So as you have suggested, we have already implemented from 2009 in our university. It's the 13th year we are running this internship program.
Sir, BHU Aligarh, they pay 10,000 rupees for each student who joins as an intern, sir.
Yadavpur University is state funded university, sir.
Yeah, I'm just saying, you know, this is just for information.
We don't have money.
But in our experience, sir, those who have gone for the training for 2 months, more than 50% are recruited by themselves, in the same institution. I mean, that is the advantage we are able to find.
Okay.
Any other question from the participants, please? Okay, now I think probably it is time to conclude. Yes. I thank everybody. I thank the chief guest, Professor D. Ravinder, for making it possible to come and join us and deliver the chief guest address. And I know that it is Sunday after a hard working 6 working days. Still he works on Sunday also, but still he could find little time for us. And as I told you, he is trying to change a lot of things in the Osmania University to make it a greater university and one of the best universities in the country, maybe one of the top universities in the country. I thank on behalf of everybody, including Telangana Library Association and myself, and thank him very much. I also thank our speakers, Professor Bhattacharya ji, Dr. Akhtar Parvez and Dr. Sanjay Kataria for making it possible to come and accept our invitation and address the gathering. And it was really a great presentations, and we all enjoyed. I'm sure our participants also have gained knowledge out of your talks. Thank you very much to all the 3 speakers. I thank Gandhi ji for making it possible to give us the Zoom and maintain the Zoom. And I also thank Professor Sudarshan Rao, Gona Reddy Garu, Ravi Kumar, Dr. Sriram, Pawan Kumar Gupta, and Kanta Rao Garu, and other all friends who joined us and contributed for the success of this program. Dr. Sriram, thanks to especially to Dr. Sriram, because he created the poster and he helped us to make it possible to publicize the program. Thank you very much. Thanks one and all. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
And sorry to say that we are not going to give any certificates, because these days I think these certificates are not really considered at any point of time. Some people are just giving for certificate, but we are not giving any certificates. Thanks for attending. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, sir.
Bye-bye, sir.
Sir, about YouTube link, whoever wants YouTube link, either Professor Lakshman Rao sir will provide, other myself as a Zoom host, I can provide. You can just give in the chat box your phone number, or you can WhatsApp me message. Some about 10 persons have so far messaged me. I have provided them the link. Unfortunately, I have not changed the name. Only after the session I can change the subject. For the present, it is in my name subject. I will be changing the name of that about the seminar. I will write about seminar, and this association, Telangana Library Association, is conducting like that. Within shortly, after closing, immediately after closing, I will change the subject. Thank you very much to all.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Congratulations, sir. TSLA. Nice webinar.
Thank you, everyone, sir. Thank you very much. It's been an honor.
ఇప్పటి వరకు ఇప్పుడు ఎక్కువైపోయినారా పాపులేషన్ అప్పుడు 20 ఉంటే ఇప్పుడు 80 60 70 అయిపోయినారు న్యూ కాలనీలో కదా కానీ మాకేం అనిపించదు ఎప్పుడు ఇంటనే ఉంటాను నేను కొంచెం బయటకు ఏమో ట్రబుల్ క్రియేట్ చేస్తున్నట్టు ఏమి అనిపించదు ఇట్లా కూడా ఉంటాను.
The subject of the YouTube link is not actually the name of the webinar is given. For the present, my name is shown. That I will be changing that. Lakshman Rao sir, shall we close?
Thank you, everyone. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I think Professor Lakshman Rao sir has left. So I am closing. Thank you all participants. Actually, I am not I am not in the library field. I am just having my paid account for Zoom. So Professor Lakshman Rao sir is requested to share my YouTube link, that Zoom link we have provided. So
Okay,
to
sir.
the best of my knowledge, I have posted this. If any mistakes have happened from my side, please excuse me.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. I am closing the session, ending
Okay,
the
sir.
ending the Zoom session.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. No problem.
Okay, I have given my phone number. Whoever wants YouTube link, they can message me, WhatsApp